5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to the Business Today show. My name is Kelly Kingston, your host. And what we do on the Business Today show is I bring on business owners that have been sustaining themselves in their businesses for longer than 2 to 3 years and that have an extreme passion for a very big purpose or mission. Now, what we do on our show is we ask a series of questions, and that prompts the business owners that we are interviewing to talk about where they're currently in their business, where they've been in their business, their struggles, and other tips and tricks that they could share with you that they learned along the way. And these messages are for small business owners that are struggling now in their business, that need an extra help, but don't know where to turn to or where to go, or even the people to ask. So without further ado, I have the beautiful Donna-Leigh. Perfect.
Hey, thank you for having me. Yoo-hoo!
You are welcome.
No, I'd be skipping if I could, but
let's just pretend we're skipping.
Get a skip in your day. Come on, Kelly.
What's that thing? There was a saying about put a skip in your day keeps the something away.
Yes, so that's my saying. I say put a skip in your day and keep depression away. I also say put a skip in your day, keep anxiety and depression away. So I share that on the stages when I skip. I actually skip on the stage, so it's a great way to release dopamine.
Absolutely. I'm just quickly sharing our live on a couple of pages.
Okay, cool.
Give me a couple of seconds.
Hello, everyone. Lovely to see you all. Thank you for listening in. Hey, Mick. Hey, Bradley. Hey, Karen. Cool to have you on board here. We've got the lovely Kelly Kingston. I hope you can see that. But
hi.
Hi.
We've got 2 shows going at once here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got to get it all going on, right? So we can actually do a lip sync. Okay, we're not doing lip sync. All right.
So we're just talking about our days, and you were on the phone a lot today doing a whole heap of stuff. Did you want to do a little share with us what you did today?
Yes, well, I mean, first of all, my day started with a phone call from you, which was awesome because I actually was literally skipping in the forest with my dog, my rescue dog, Rocky Rockstar, which is actually the star of my children's series, The Adventures of Jessie and Rocky Rockstar. So, these are beautiful, adorable stories about the life lessons that Rocky Rockstar teaches my daughter Jess about kindness and compassion. And in the back of those books is, of course, the life-saving app, which we might touch on a little bit today. But you called me while I was skipping.
I know, right?
Well, I had my skip on. And you put this amazing opportunity to me to be on tonight. So I thought, so that was the start of a chain reaction of telephone calls that were just very timely. And, even though you can have a plan for the day, and it's important, of course, scheduling and having that plan, but sometimes you need to also go with the flow. And you never know when you go with the flow what opportunities come your way.
Exactly right. There's so many different times where I've been in my business and I have a diary and I've gone, now I have to do all this, I have to tick all my boxes, and if I don't accomplish that today, I've accomplished nothing. And I've had my business partner and my husband on, and they're very analytical. They're like the tick the box accounting kind of people. And I've just gone, I'm the airy fairy one. Go, just go with the flow. You'll be right. Yeah. And so I used to tick a lot of boxes until it just didn't suit me. I still tick my boxes, don't get me wrong, but it's a space and a place that I find myself in. And if I don't feel that I actually need to be in that space and place to tick those boxes, I just go with the flow, just like I did and rang you this morning.
Yeah, and I love that, Kelly, what you're sharing there, because you know, we all need to be really in touch with our own strengths. We all have our own strengths, and we need to go with the flow with those strengths. And, you know, I guess having that balance with your husband, where he's the analytical one, is perfect in alignment with you know, how you run your business, because you're probably more the creative one, the one with the kind of out of the box ideas, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And then having somebody that kind of keeps you back on track a little bit. But yeah, I think it's also really important not to beat ourselves up about that stuff, because we can have the schedule and then we can go, oh my God, I didn't get through the 10 items I had, or I only ticked off 1 or 2. But
Yeah.
if you really start to reflect on how your day planned out, or played out, should I say, there's so much value in the things that just came in flow into your day, that in fact could have even been of more value than those things on the list. So so to just be kind to yourself is really important, you know, and go, you know what, okay, I didn't stick to that, but I got a lot of value out of some of these other things that came my way.
Absolutely. And so many different opportunities. You know, we sometimes go with would have, should have, could have. I don't know how many times that's been said to me, and so many different things, but you know, sometimes you just need to tap into your intuition and just be guided, and just know that you're in the right place at the right time, and the right people to connect you where you need to go on your journey.
Yes, absolutely. And trust in that process, right?
Absolutely. Trust is huge. Trusting in yourself is another, is bigger than trusting in somebody else, because if you trust within yourself, 9 times out of 10, the people you're connected with, you can trust with ease and grace. Not always, but you just need to just tap in and just feel into those intuitions and those feelings that you have. So yeah, I agree.
I love it.
So I have some questions for you, Donna-Leigh. Are you ready?
Oh, hit me with them. I'll do my best. With the rhythm stick.
I love how you're always so vibrant and happy, and you know, I know we have downer days, and I know that you would have downer days, but you wouldn't have as many downer days as your up days. And I really love that about you, and your personality and your brand and your commitment to what you're doing. It's your whole life. It's everything that you live for, you work for, you live and breathe it. And I admire you, and you inspire me, and I just wanted you to know that.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's really important we do walk it and we talk it, you know,
Yeah.
in every aspect. And that's the why, right? That's the Simon Sinek why. If we've got the why, where everything else flows.
Exactly right. So my first question for you tonight is, how did you get started in business?
How did I get started in this business I'm in now? Because I've actually had a lot of businesses over my life. So I'm 54 tomorrow.
Let me reframe it. Okay, so your very first business that you created, how did you get started in that business? And then let's tell the story to where you currently are now.
Wow, okay. So it's quite a mixed kind of journey. So I started a small little side business when I was at the Auckland University of Technology, where I was studying pattern making and design in the fashion industry. And I saw a little niche. I saw a little opportunity while I was, you know, learning the trade, that students, fellow students, were during the process of learning how to shape patterns and draft, they were using cardboard cutouts to do that. And the cardboard cutouts would get really kind of jagged and you know, weren't very accurate. And I thought, I can make some plastic shapes that these students can use to create a more accurate kind of shape. And they can see through their work. It's going to be clear perspex. And at the time, I just happened to have a boyfriend that was in the plastic industry, and I put this idea to him. And within a few days, we had some templates, brought them in. I brought them into TAFE, and I showed some of the students, hey, this is the cardboard one you've been using, this is the plastic one. And I had so many orders, Kelly, it was unbelievable. Not just in my class, but right across the entire kind of fashion school in that TAFE. And over a period of years, I developed a range, and this range was called Perfect Pattern Aids. And I started selling to all of the TAFEs and universities and fashion schools throughout New Zealand. And then I came to Australia. And when I moved to Australia, I was working for a textile company in Auckland as a sales rep, and I became a sales manager, and they wanted me to come to Sydney and set up their Australian operation and run it. Now, this was setting it up from scratch. And I remember all of the naysayers in New Zealand doubting what I was doing, saying to me, Donna, you are crazy. Not only are you coming into a market in Australia that is reducing and the market's going off to China, going offshore, but you're a Kiwi and the Aussies don't like Kiwis. And so you're going to find it really hard going into one of the longest standing trades, the rag trade, trying to get a market share in a loyal sort of market where there are people that just, have been buying off their suppliers for years. You think you're going to get in there in a market that's shrinking and get a slice of that action? And I thought, yes, I'm determined I'm going to do it. And so I had my little had my little Perfect Pattern Aids business on the side. And then I came into Australia and into Sydney, and I had to start from scratch, from finding a premises to getting the product from overseas, from Europe, right down to the pencil on the desk, setting up this entire company and employing staff to help with the warehousing and selling and that kind of thing. And within 6 years, I took that business from nothing to $1 million turnover.
Oh my gosh, congratulations. That is you're a force to be reckoned with, my dear.
And what I found was one of the simple strategies was to deliver on my promise. And not just deliver, actually to exceed. So it was like, what are they expecting of me? What is the customer expecting? Well, I'm going to exceed that expectation. I'm not just going to deliver on it. I'm going to exceed on it. And then I would reward my advocates for recommending me, referring me. So I would find out who had referred me to a new client, and I would go around with big bouquets of flowers, and I would, I'd make a big deal out of it. And I'd say, thank you so much, because I don't have to advertise if I have an advocate.
Absolutely.
It's my business, right? It's the best kind of advertising of all. And, I'd go in there with Easter eggs and leave them in the staff room and all that kind of thing. And just go do all these extra things that none of their suppliers had ever done before. And so I became like a market leader. And then all of my competitors were starting to kind of, follow me. And at the same time, I had this little side business, Perfect Pattern Aids, and it just grew because now I was supplying these pattern tools to the TAFEs and universities in Australia and New Zealand. So this was just a little side hobby sort of thing that was growing quite big as well. So I had two businesses running at once, and then I became a mum, and everything changed. My priorities shifted. And, my priority shifted to really wanting to spend more time with my son. And so I resigned from that position, but I still have my business, my Perfect Pattern Aids business. So I've always been in business, Kelly. And then from there, I kind of shifted I had a commercial cleaning business for a while. And that was when my marriage broke up. I had to sort of support my family. And so I was running a commercial domestic cleaning business and dragging my kids around late at night, like from school. We'd have a quick meal, and I would drag them around to commercial offices and dental surgeries up until 8 or 9 at night. They'd be on the vac pack. They'd be helping me clean mirrors and stuff. It was a hard gig. It was a tough gig, and I did that for about 7 years. And then I met Michael Bennett, who, sort of took me on another trajectory and really kind of encouraged me to share my story, which is where I guess my real passion is, and where it's kind of taken me on this journey of saving lives from bullying, saving lives from suicide, saving lives from domestic violence.
Yeah. And can you share us a little bit about what you do? Like, let's hone in on that, because this is the reason why you and I met. Your passion, your love. You were one of the main speakers featured in the International Women's Day Summit with hosted by Melissa Groom.
Yes.
And I've never heard you speak as a speaker before. Like, we've spent time chatting at different events and connecting. And they were all outstanding speakers. And I've said this to your face quite some time ago as well, that your speech, Donna, left everyone in the room just entertained, inspired, empowered, and educated at the same time. And I was speaking to my husband tonight, and I said, I'm really glad to be getting Donna on early, because of my other guests cancelled on me for whatever reason. They had something else on. And he goes, oh, why? And I told him, and I said, I told a little bit about your story and how you presented it. And it was just amazing. And I really would love for you to be able to tap in and just share a little bit about why you are doing what you do, and what's the end game for you with this? And where do you want to see your programs going? Like, let's speak it like it's already happening. So if you could share, that would be amazing.
Okay. So, I have a background of, overcoming trauma and domestic violence. I witnessed the murder of my mum when I was just 7 years old. And that was a very defining moment in my life where everything changed at the split second. And my father went to prison, and so I was separated from my siblings, and we were put into foster homes, where for 6 years I went to 13 foster homes and 13 schools, and I was bullied and I was abused. And when I was 12, I had to make a really tough decision, Kelly, and that was whether to stay in foster care till I was 18. And you're just getting a really short version here, whether to stay in a foster care till I was 18, or whether to return to my father, who'd been released from prison, and back into the home where he murdered my mum. And that was an incredibly traumatic moment in my life too, because you could imagine that, you're already traumatized. We didn't have any counseling or any help through all that emotional trauma. And then having to revisit that home with all the memories and my mum not being there, but the nightmares of that event. So it's kind of trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. And then living with an alcoholic, schizophrenic father. And so it was a very unpredictable time in my life. For 5 years, I was living with him, and he eventually drank himself to death when I was 17. And so
can I just ask a question? When you went to move back home with your dad, did your other siblings come with you?
Yes, that was the reason why I chose to go back to him. So I was reunited with my siblings. And, that was really, just being connected with them again meant everything to me. No matter how dysfunctional that looked, it was still family, and it gave me some sense of stability after moving and moving and moving so often, and living with strangers. You move from one strange house with strangers to another strange house with strangers, and then another school, and trying to make new friends, and then you'd move again. And so the constant kind of changes were very unstable and insecure and all those things. So having one kind of place to center myself, no matter how, kind of dysfunctional that looked, still felt like a step forward. So So yes, I was 17 and my father died, and I it was kind of, it was a dark time in my life where I was turning to alcohol and drugs just to numb the pain that I had been suffering.
Yeah.
And one day I reached out to Lifeline, and this started the sort of process of my grateful healing and working through my trauma, and just realizing that all of this trauma happened to me, not because of me, was quite a massive kind of move forward, because you blame yourself quite often. You start to, as a child, to look at, why did this happen to me? What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
What, and so sort of clearing that stuff away was a huge part of my healing process. And I ended up becoming a Lifeline counsellor on the phones in Sydney for 2 years, being a volunteer and crisis telephone counsellor. And that was amazing, because it started this kind of servingness that I wanted to give back, because of my everything that I'd learned from this process, this that was just so amazing, that I wanted to then help others because of it. And so that was an amazing training, an amazing experience, being on the lines and taking suicide calls, taking calls from people that had been in similar situations to me, that had gone through trauma of their own, and you're trying to help them and be there for them and support them through it.
Mm.
So that was an amazing experience. And so now. The thing is, Kelly, that I didn't share my story really with very many people in my life at all. And it wasn't until I met Michael that I think I'd only shared it with probably 4 people in my life. And when I met Michael, I was just, I was 47 or something. So that was quite significant that I'd kept this. And when he asked me about myself and really wanted to know, and I shared my story, he couldn't believe how I had been through all of that, and yet I was this vibrant, energetic, happy person that I was, and yet I'd been through all this, this adversity. And at the time, I'd just become a qualified personal trainer, and I was passionate about helping children curb childhood obesity. So I wanted to work with children to help them with nutrition and exercise, and change this kind of trajectory of childhood obesity. And Michael was doing some, he's a comedian, a professional comedian, and he was doing some children's shows as well on cruise ships. And so we decided to kind of collaborate on a show. And I said, look, I could do some, some workouts and teach the kids about nutrition, and you can do all your kind of balloon artistry and a bit of comedy and stuff, and we'd have a show. So we came up with this idea, and it was the Dream Guards, and it's all about guarding children's dreams and helping them to believe that anything is possible by tapping into their imagination, which is the most powerful tool that we have, really. And so this sort of this show evolved, and over a period of 2 or 3 years, it was evolving and evolving and evolving. And when I shared my story with him, Michael said, "Man, you've got to share this with the children in our show. It's obviously got to be age appropriate, but you've got to share how you have been through so much adversity, and look at you today because of it. And this is the powerful, message you can, relate to kids. And it can be such a message of hope, of inspiration, that you may be facing something yourself, and you can get through this stuff, because I'm an example of it right here. And so this is how this kind of started to evolve. And then I went into an amazing meditation one day with an intention to come up with tools that represented the universal sign for stop. And it was all about my experience of bullying. And I wanted to, change, the way that kids are, the cyberbullying and bullying is really having such a massive impact on kids today. And,
Yeah.
kids are losing their lives because of it. So I went into this meditation and I thought, I'm going to come up with an acronym that represents the peace, the universal sign for stop. And when I came out of this meditation, my peace tools were born. And I remember coming out of this meditation so excited. And I said, Michael, I've come up with this idea. And it's all around the universal sign for stop, and it's an acronym, and it's peace. And he said, tell me about it. And I wrote it down and I went through it with him. And I said, I think this has got to be the anchor of our show. It's got to be all about this and everything else.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to share the screen and I'm going to show everybody on our live your peace sign. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, thank you.
So let's do that. Okay. So there we are there.
It is.
Yeah. So now you can talk about it and then do the acronym.
Yeah, absolutely. So the P in the peace stands for protect yourself and be powerful. So the P is all about standing tall with your shoulders back and your head held high. And you're actually exuding this kind of confidence within you. So when children can walk into the playground, just by having this posture, actually, generates this incredible energy in your body. And we know this has been proven statistically that when you are projecting confidence, you are less likely to be bullied and you are less likely to be abused. So you are no longer a target, as opposed to having a cowering kind of posture when you're walking in. Straight away, you look more like a victim, and bullies will pick on that kind of posture. So just having that simple stance of your shoulders back and your head held high, you're less likely to be bullied or abused. The E stands for escaping the situation. And it's all about trusting your instincts. We must always trust our instincts. And, if somebody's being nasty to you, either online or face to face, or, through a text message, whatever, you have the power within you to walk away, to run away. And I say I like to skip away, so, never allow anyone to abuse you. The next letter is A, and it stands for armor. And again, this is about using your powerful tool, your imagination, to build a powerful imaginary armor around your body. So other people's opinions don't matter in your world. And what I like to say is a lioness never loses sleep over the opinions of sheep. So be the lioness. The C is about creating strong friendships in your community. And this is about having like-minded people in your proximity that show you kindness, compassion, that share the same values as you, and that have your back. So community is really important. And right now, more than ever, community is important. And collaboration and, coming together to support each other is just so much more powerful. We can create a much more significant change and transformation in the world, in our community, when we collaborate and join forces and bring our strengths together. So community collaboration, community friendships are really important. The last E in the peace tools is expressing your emotions. And it's all about reaching out for the help and support you need if you are being bullied or abused. So this is for domestic violence. And sadly, right now, we are seeing a massive increase. In some countries, up to 40% increase in domestic violence during this coronavirus isolation. So it's very sad. So we need to reach out for the help and support that is available in our community, and be the upstander in your community. Help others in need. So if life is pretty good for you right now, you can be the support for somebody that needs you, and be that person, that go-to person that they can come to. And whether it might be even just a simple thing of, saying, look, you can put your bag in my home. It can be a safe zone, and you can have this bag with all of your, safe things in there that you need. If you need to flee your place of, your unsafe place, then you know that you can come here and you've got some, you've got some first aid items, some items that emergency items that you can call on and need. So that can be a place where you can be a friend and you can help somebody in need. And this is why I've created this amazing app too. So, which is in my children's books.
So what is the product that you have? Is it the children's book with the app on the back end that you want to get into the schools that talk about this? Is that?
That's part of my Resilient Rockstar show. So I do a live stage show in primary schools. Now, this is from prep right through to year 6. And it's called the Resilient Rockstar Show. And it's all about tapping in to the resilient rockstar within you. And I teach the children in the show about my peace tools. And we go through this in really fun ways. So I anchor this in a number of ways. We do a workout with the peace tools. So every single tool, we do an exercise. So for P, we protect yourself and be powerful. We go and do star jumps and escape the situation. We're running on the spot. And armor yourself, we're doing lunges, building that armor. So in this way, it's a holistic presentation. So we're talking about the importance of exercise. And when we exercise, we release all these beautiful happy chemicals in our body, endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine. So when we do that, when we exercise on the way to school, we actually enter the schoolyard happier, less likely to pick on people, less likely to bully. So these are all ways that we can, start our day consciously with an intention to be coming in happier, eating the right foods before we leave home. I talk about nutrition and, and then I do a rap. I've actually written a rap, crazy chick that I am. I've written a rap. So we go through the peace rap and at the end of the rap, the kids are so surprised when I rap. It's the last thing they're expecting. I'm about to wind up the show and I'm saying, so you remember what to do, right? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, peace. And all the kids put their hands up, peace. And when that finishes, the music kicks in and I start doing this rap. And the kids are like, what on earth's going on? They're just so surprised. And at the end of the rap, they're sort of bopping to the music and sort of joining in. So it's kind of cool to see the end, how it's. But I also read the stories. I read one of the stories in the show, and I talk about the importance of the app and how this is available to them. It's a free app, and they can reach out to Paradise Kids. They can reach out to Kids Helpline and get the help and support they need. And talk to another person that's trained, and confidential.
Wow, that is amazing. It's like so out of the box. I was writing down I was talking to some clients last week, just before Easter, and after a workshop that I did, some ladies were saying there's so many other people around doing what I'm doing now because they're all online. And I'm sort of like, there's a space where you need to really, really tap into who are you and really do something so unique so you stand out. And that's what you have done in your industry. You have just taken that level of entertainment to the next level in every way, shape or form. And I congratulate you so much. It is just outstanding. Anyway, please continue.
Thank you. So the development from that, of course, was the show. Then the teachers would say, wow, you have made such a massive impact on the children, on the teachers, on the parents. We're left, wow, what a great, because I share part of my story too. What a great way to teach resilience. What a great way to have, to look at this as a holistic kind of, everything. It's exercise, it's nutrition, it's, the peace tools and all about community. and and then it's sharing your story and connecting with the children and going, well, you know what, she's been through that, so we can get through some of the adversity we're facing, all of that stuff. And they said, but what's what what's after this? Like, you've made such an impact, you can't just leave us, you can't walk away without something else we can follow on with. So so that's where my Resilient Peace program came in, and it's something now I'm developing because of course the shift with parents at home.
So this is the online course that you were talking to me about.
Yes, this is the Resilient Peace program, and so this is for parents. This is this is for I guess maybe for mums, but for mums and dads running this at home with their children. And it's a bonding opportunity for you to spend this time with your children and together learn about about friendships, about emotions, where they sit in your body, how emotions help us to respond in situations. Importance of the qualities of friendships. What does friendship mean to you? What are some of the values that are important in friendships, and how can you be a better friend? And resilience. How does resilience look? What does it mean? It's about failing and getting up again and trying again, failing, and giving examples of that so kids can see that, wow, okay, that's what it's about. So how have you maybe failed in your life and you've built resilience? And maybe share one of those stories. And then and then I talk about the importance of healthy eating and exercising. What are the ways that you can exercise on the way to school? And maybe as a family once a week, what is a special thing you can do as a family to exercise? It might be getting on your bikes. It might be going down the beach and having a swim. It might be getting on your skateboards. Might be walking the dog together as a family, whatever that is. But let's have a schedule once a week where we come together as a family and we do something active. And then the other thing is community. And let's come up with a project together as a family where we can serve others in our community that need us. So there might be a local retirement village, and you could, I mean, it is a little bit difficult right now with isolation, but what is the way that we can, give some, some value to people in the community? Maybe there's letters that the children can write to the local seniors. Maybe there's pictures that can be drawn and shared with them. Maybe there's books that can be read, and because these people are feeling lonely. And so what's a way that we can give back? Now let's tap in to how that feels in our body. What are some of the emotions that we've talked about before that now we're feeling in our body? What are they? Are we feeling happy? Are we feeling, excited? Or where are the emotions feeling in our body? And that's a real sense of happiness. So this is where we feel really fulfilled. And how can we get more of that? By serving. Because, getting the latest iPhone or whatever is not going to provide that fulfillment of happiness. It's short-lived. So it's all of this in this program, and I'm really excited about it because I'm only just I'm in the final stages now of getting this ready to launch to parents where they can run it at home. And I really believe now is the time, Kelly, because sadly we are finding there is an increase in anxiety in homes with this coronavirus situation. With isolation, with some parents maybe their hours are being reduced at work, maybe they've lost their jobs, whatever. And children, there's an uncertainty around schooling. They're not spending as much time with their friends that they would like to be. And so it's really important that we help kids with anxiety, and by doing this in a holistic way and bonding with your child to learn this together, so it can be something the family unit learn, and we're reinforcing this to each other every day in the family.
Absolutely. Now, I have a saying with what I do with supporting wellness business owners in business is different aspects of releasing issues in our tissues. And when we release the issues in our tissues, we are moving emotions that have been stuck in our body that we didn't know that was necessarily there. And then once we actually start to get that moving processing done, and this is everything that you do, it's amazing what happens when people actually step out of their comfort zone and do something new, so that they can then actually bring in, get rid of the aspects that no longer serve us, to bring in aspects that really, really can serve us, and open our eyes even wider so that we can go, oh my gosh, I see the big picture now.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. And getting rid of that self-doubt that can limit us to stepping out of the box or stepping out of the comfort zone and trying it. And failure is part of it. So let's embrace failure because it's part of the process in learning.
I reckon I could write the book on failure, Donna. I reckon I could. I think my mum's watching this tonight, because she always does, because she's one of my biggest fans. And she would have said to me, I lost count when I was maybe 10. Kelly, don't do it that way. It's going to be the hard way. Why don't you do it this way? And then, you'll get the job done a lot faster. And I've just gone, yeah, whatever. What do you know? And then I do it the hard way. And I did it the hard way for so many years. I can't even remember how many years I did it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hear
That's
you.
how you learn. That's how you learn, right? Because you can be told and your parents can tell you, but you've got to learn. That's part of this, journey and the life lesson. So I think there's so much gold in that, isn't there, in learning from that.
Absolutely. Even when I speak to my 16-year-old daughter now, it's sort of like, really? Okay, no worries. And she goes off, and then honestly, she comes back and she's really, really transparent and authentic with me. And she goes, oh my gosh, Mum, I really should have listened to you.
I love it. I love it. At least she acknowledges that, right?
I know. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. Okay, so in and amongst all that, and we're going to talk about the book and the online programs and all your recent business that you've got going in as Donna-Leigh Perfect, the speaker, and all that stuff. What has been one of your toughest struggles in business?
I would say probably the hardest industry that I've ever had to break through is the educational industry. So, because of the red tape, the curriculum being so incredibly full, and the teachers, there's so much noise. Their jobs are so full and so busy that to try and break through to speak with the right person, the decision maker, has been the most challenging thing because we've tried so many incredibly creative ideas to get to the decision maker. And so that's been the most challenging. And you're up against government programs that have had government funding. And so when you're private enterprise coming into an industry where it's heavily government funded, and they will tend to go more with their own programs because it ticks the box, and they want to tick the box because it makes it so much simpler if they know that it's going to meet the standards of the curriculum and the framework, and they know it works. They've run it before, and they're so busy that it's just easier to just go with the flow, and they continue on. So that's probably been the most difficult challenge.
So breaking the barriers of the education system to get this amazing program in there that could support so many different children.
Absolutely. And that's the frustrating thing, right? Because in the meantime, what happens is continuously, for me, I get tagged on social media constantly, kids that are struggling, kids that have sadly suicided. And that's where it breaks my heart that, you know, the system on so many levels is broken, and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So, as a suggestion there, I had a girlfriend and she was trying to get into some of the schools as well, and she tried everything, going through P&C, seeing principals, speaking to different teachers, classrooms, high schools, primary schools, whatever. And then she approached the libraries. And I know the libraries are closed right now, but they're doing some online programs. So I think it might pay to actually contact some of the local libraries in the Gold Coast area to see if they're going to be doing some online programs. And you never ever know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you tried the libraries?
Yes, I have actually. In fact, it was only a few days ago. I saw an ad on Facebook for some online programs for libraries, but it was actually through the Queensland Writers Association. So it was actually separate to, it was run through the library, but it was actually a separate association. So I did contact the libraries then, thinking that that's what it was. And they said, no, we don't have any online programs as yet. We are kind of considering it. Specifically, I was looking at the author journey aspect. So sharing my journey as an author and why I've written these books, which, you know, I think is really important if you can share that why, you know, why you've written the books.
Yeah. And so for anyone that's out there that is watching this and, you know, a sister looking after another sister or a dad, wanting to support anybody else in his life, anyone, where can they find you?
Probably the best place would be my website. So that's Donna with a hyphen, Leigh, Leigh, perfect.com. I'm also on Facebook and, you know, all the social media platforms, LinkedIn, but probably my website would be the best place.
It's Donna-Leigh Perfect, aka Warrior, the Peace Warrioress.
Well, not that yet, but yeah, that's my kind of title. Thank you, Kelly Kingston.
Wasn't that a good day?
Oh, wasn't it? It was great.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I really love it. Yeah.
And I love strategizing like that when we've got more, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 people, when we're, you know, really coming together to solve little things that, you know, you have like sitting in the back of your mind about your business and who do I want to be seen to be? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's Donna-Leigh Perfect is amazing, but who is Donna-Leigh Perfect? Yeah. She is that peace warrior.
Yeah. That's it. And it is. It does, because it you know, really expresses what I'm about, you know, and yeah, I love it. And I also love that you've helped me so much in kind of streamlining more my target audience, because I have, you know, for so long thought, oh, what I'm offering is just, it's so valuable. Everybody must need it. Everybody must not. And that's not the case. And so what happens is then everything you're doing just gets kind of dissolved, and the value in it just gets, the value loses its emphasis, right?
Yeah, but not only does the value lose its emphasis, you end up losing your power. You end up losing your inspiration for doing what you love so much, because your ideal client isn't coming forward because you're not targeting your ideal client.
Oh, that's absolutely 100% right.
Yeah, so that's when I say, and I can't emphasize this enough with anybody that I speak to that is in business, if you do not have an ideal client and you are not marketing to your ideal client, you are really pretty well much wasting your time, or not necessarily wasting your time. You're building a lot of content, but nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Okay. Or lots of people are watching, they're just not your target market.
No, so they're not action takers. They're not going to from what you're doing, and they might be getting a lot of inspiration out of it. And but you know, it's not going to take you to where you need to go in order to support what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly right. So I say go for it. You know who your ideal client is now, and I really feel that you need to hone in and really, really pitch that, you know, perfect model that you have to them, and you're going to be so surprised, honestly, and you're going to just go, and we all say this, why didn't I do this before? This was freaking, you know, easy for one, because Kelly explained it to me in the most easiest possible way that, you know, it can be done, because I don't do anything hard. I used to do things hard, mistake, hard, mistake. Oh, let's try it a little bit easier. Okay,
Yeah.
pedal. And then we get that process happening. And once you've got the processes and the planning and all that stuff, there's all, you know, all the strategies, all the operations, all the admin, and they're all in place. Everything else is just get the message out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, and you can say, you have clarity, you then have direction to stay focused in absolutely everything that you've put your heart, mind, body, spirit, soul, every aspect of you into what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it
So
is really critical, because you do lose that. It can be quite disheartening, you know, if it's not going in the direction that you really, really know it's got the ability to, you know, when you believe in it so much and you know that it's got the impact, but it's not landing to the
you'd
right.
You'd be surprised how many business owners do not have their avatar, and they just go, oh, that's for everybody, and then they're still, you know, charging $20 an hour, and then it's like backpedaling a little bit and then going, it's not working for me. Business is just not for me. I'm sort of like, well, business is for everybody as long as you do it right. Yeah. So my last question, if you could change one thing in your life today, what would it be?
Change one thing in my life. I had that answer. What would it be? Probably target audience, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that would be it. I think I would have worked that out much earlier, and much earlier, if I'd know, you know, if I'd got that advice, to be honest. So getting clarity around what it is that I am offering, why I am offering it, who I'm offering it to, that would have been great if that happened 5 years ago.
Well, you're in the right place now, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Yeah, it is. It's extremely exciting. And, you know, there's still so much more for you to grow and step into in your business. You know, you have so much already. You've been interviewed by Channel 9. You're on radio stations. You've got speaking gigs coming up. You're like, you're not short of a gig, love, are you?
No, I'm a bit of a media queen actually at the moment, but I'm really excited because Kerwin Ray has asked me on his Unstoppable podcast, so that's really exciting.
Wow, that's going to be
epic.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome. So do you have any last words for our viewers tonight?
Yes, look, don't, you know, I guess the main thing is to make sure that you're really clear about why you're doing what you're doing. So get really clear with the why and go deep with that, because that's your authentic connection to your audience. So you need to be really clear about that, why you're doing what you're doing, and what impact are you wanting to make on the world? What legacy are you wanting to leave when you are gone? And don't give up. Just keep moving forward. And I love this. I love this analogy. I love to share this equation of life, and I will leave it there. And that is E plus R equals O. So the E is the event. And right now, the event for all of us worldwide is the coronavirus event. Now, we don't have a lot of control over the event, but we can take the span of control back to where we are here now, rather than allowing it to, to extend past our area of ability. So we can look at, other countries and what's going on and become very overwhelmed very quickly. So bring it back to the span of control of where you are right now. And the R in this equation is your response to the event. So the response is where the power is in this equation. So how we respond to the event will have a huge impact on the O, which is our personal outcome. So respond with, an open mind. Respond by being kind to yourself. Respond with compassion and kindness. And, you will find that the outcome is much more, happier and coming from a place of love.
I love that. I really enjoyed our interview and you sharing you.
Thank you so much. I did too.
It was just, I didn't hear the whole thing again, but just highlighting different aspects of where you were growing up as a girl and your journey and where you are now is an inspiration for all to, rise up to the occasion of anything is possible. It doesn't matter where you come from in any situation whatsoever. And you are a walking, talking, skipping example of this.
I love the skipping.
Oh, I couldn't let that out. I was like walking, talking, and then I was going to go, oh no, I have to keep that skipping in there.
Yep.
So thank you so much at late notice for coming on the Business Today show and sharing your business journeys with us. I'm so extremely grateful to you.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for everything you're doing to help me find clarity and get, really clear with where I'm going.
It's my pleasure, and we will be talking again very soon.
Thank you, sweetie.
You're more than welcome, darling. Thank you so much to everybody that has joined us this evening. You have just heard from Donna-Leigh Perfect, the Peace Warrioress. She is an amazing woman that has overcome life hurdles. She has, fallen to the ground and risen up again because that was her choice to do so. And you and me and everyone that is around us can do exactly the same. Not just to step up into your own businesses, but to step up into your life, the life that you were born to live and to grow into, to live your purpose and to do it with passion. The Business Today show was brought to you by the Wellness Business Academy, the Spiritual Events and Directory, and the Global Crypto College. These businesses have supported us in getting messages out for small businesses, for small business owners to step into their businesses. And if you are struggling in your businesses, I encourage you to reach out to anybody that is around you that is successful in their business and just ask some questions. It costs nothing to answer the questions. And if they don't want to answer the questions, well, you're not asking the right people, and just keep asking and asking and asking. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening wherever you are in this world, a beautiful morning or a beautiful day. And my name is Kelly Kingston, and thank you so much for joining us on the Business Today show.